It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That is Doro, of course, from the Warrior Soul record with a song called Thunderspell. And on the phone right now, the one, the only, the legendary queen of metal herself, it's Doro. Doro, how are you?
Hey, very good to talk to you guys, and thank you for having me on your show, and everything is good. I just got off all the European summer festivals, and now I'm so excited to hit the stage soon, and I'm all ready to do that.
Sure. Well, Doro, you're celebrating 30 years in the business, which I find hard to believe somebody that looks 27 could have 37 years, but it's an amazing feat.
Yeah, oh, thank you, Chris. Oh, you're a gentleman. Yeah, man, I still feel as young as I was when I started in Warlock. I still actually feel I just started. I'm a beginner, and now it's 30 years later. But I'm so happy that we're still like rocking the world, and now we have 17 records out. So on the next tour, we want to have the people, pick the songs and request the set list, and I'm excited about that. So I will see what the fans want to hear, and of course we will play all the highlights, all the old school metal songs from Burning the Witches, All We Are, but we play by request. So it's something,
sure,
something exciting.
Definitely. Now, Doro, one thing about your career, and I mean, amazing as it is to be, a female in metal for 30 years is amazing all by itself. But the one thing that I think that stands out most for your career personally is how active you've always been. It's not like you've had 10-year droughts between records. I mean, you've been very consistent with putting out records, and the records have been, for the very most part, consistent in the sound and the style. What is it about what you do that keeps you full of A, stamina, and B, ideas to keep coming back with more music?
Yeah, actually, my whole source of power, motivation, inspiration I get from fans. I love the fans, and when I was a little girl, when I was like 3-4 years old, I always was dreaming about having a band, and then when I was 15, I had my first band, and I tell you, from there on, I knew that was what I wanted to do in my life, and I wanted to make people happy, and even though it was like, in the beginning, it was very brutal, heavy metal, but I love making people happy, and I think, like writing songs, I always feel inspired, like I love as hard as it gets, and I love it as soft and sensitive as it gets, so I love it all, and it's always exciting. Every record I always try to have the best record, to top the previous one, so it's always like a big adventure, a big challenge, and and the ideas, they always flow. It was never a time where I thought, I have to make another record, and I didn't have any ideas. I'm always like, after a tour, I have so many experiences, and and things what the fans tell me, and things what happened. I always have enough stuff, and then I can't wait to go back into the studio and do a new record or a DVD. Now we are actually just working on our 30-year anniversary DVD. We started to celebrate that last year in Wacken, and then we did 2 big shows in my former hometown in Germany, in Düsseldorf, with many guests, orchestra and everything. And now we want to do the last recording of a great show in New York City on the 20th of October in the Gramercy Theater with great guests. And then we are probably finishing the DVD, I guess, early next year. And so I'm always excited when I can do something what is like, what has something to do with music or the fans or with like songwriting, artwork that keeps me alive. And that's I think what I'm born to do, to make people happy and to give them positive power.
Definitely. Now, Doro, I mean, being a touring musician and a successful musician since 1984. You've seen a million bands come and go. What bands that you've either played with or seen or, experienced in some way surprised you that they didn't make it or didn't have the longevity that you did?
Wow. Oh, yeah, in the beginning, there were great bands, like great metal bands, which, And for example, when I started, Venom was the biggest band, and I remember we played a festival, and there were many support bands like us with Warlock, Metallica, many other bands, and then the big headliner was Venom. That was like in '85, and then I was thought they had the biggest band of the world, and then. Now, actually, I just met Kronos from Venom a couple of days ago at the Metal Hammer Awards, and he got the Legends Award, which I won last year, and it was a big honor. And then I met him again, and he said, yeah, I'm going on tour again. And I thought Venom was big in the 80s, and then some other bands, they got bigger and bigger, certainly, of course, Metallica and stuff, and but I'm glad they're doing it again. And another band, Anvil, I was a big fan of Anvil in the 80s, and then I saw them again when this great movie came out, and now actually we played a couple of times together when I was hopping in to fill in for Ripper Owens on the Dio Disciple tour in Spain. Anvil opened up, and I was so happy to see them again. And now they're actually, they have a great name again. They play all over, and that's awesome. So I guess sometimes there's some years it's harder than others. And in the 90s, when metal wasn't so big anymore, when grunge took over, I think it was very hard for anybody to keep it going. So, but I'm glad that many people from the 80s that they are coming back in a big way. Right. And I was another big fan of the band Trust. They are from France, and I thought, man, it was so inspiring. And they never made it really, really big in the States, and it was definitely one of my favorite bands.
Right, definitely. Well, Doro, one thing about your career, and I want to focus a little bit on your most recent work. Records like the latest one, Raise Your Fist, or even like Warrior Soul, which I played a song from a little bit ago. They're so remarkably consistent. Where do the ideas come from for you to continually write music that doesn't? I know you said earlier that you get a lot of inspiration from the fans, but at the same time, musically, you just have an ear for it, I guess, for that specific sound that really has not changed, short of the one record, in the middle there. Everything else has had that signature sound. And I mean, you could literally listen to Warrior Soul next to Triumph and Agony, and there's not this crazy difference in sound, almost, 20 years later or whatever.
Yeah. Because I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I give it my all, and like there's nothing else in my life except the music, the records, the fans, and all. Even when we are on tour or when we make money, I always put it right back into the show or into the records. And I'm still recording like I used to in the 80s. It still takes like 2 years to do a record, sometimes 3 years. And and of course, I love a bombastic sound. And I'm still going into a studio, not doing it on the little computer. So I just wanna give people something what they can believe in, what they know is like, craftsmanship and high quality. Of course, everything is up to, everybody has maybe a different taste, but like the standard, which I know the fans love, when they hear something of our records, I always feel, man, I want to even top it, or I even want to make it better, and I always go to any length to reach that level of like, great and greatness, and when I have a feeling, I can sleep at night, it's all okay, then I know it's okay. But before I don't accomplish something, what I feel is really like a masterpiece, I can't even put it out. So every record, sometimes we remix the record 10 times because it wasn't great enough, and then
right.
But even in the Triumph and Agony times, I remember a song like Für Immer, I think that was mixed 10 times. So it got to be right, and to give something to people, I want to have it the most sacred, the most wonderful thing. And I tell you, I was inspired by other people, by other artists who did it. Like, for example, the great legendary Ronnie James Dio. I always thought, man, he had high standards. And when I first saw him, the first show in my life, I saw Ronnie, and it almost brought me to my knees because it was so good. It was so great. And I thought, if I could ever give the fans something like, which they feel the same when I saw Ronnie, something like this, and it always inspired me. It always, felt, I wanna, reach the same level that people feel there's a lot of meaning and a lot of quality, and that people, feel, that they get something out of it, that that it's not a song like they hear once and then they forget about it, that it's a song, what gives them hope, power, positive energy, and, to forget about all the everyday stress. And,
right.
I think times are pretty hard anyhow. Right now it's harder than I've ever seen them before, so I think the music even has to be stronger and better to compensate for that.
Right. Well, Doro, over the course of your career, are there any albums or tours that you look back at and say, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or maybe this didn't come out, where you look back and you're like, this isn't quite what I would have done now?
Actually, I think it was all good, and it was always a great learning experience. And sometimes, a tour was maybe better than other tours, but I loved every single moment. And touring with my first tour was actually with Judas Priest, then Ronnie James Dio, then Wasp, then Megadeth, Motorhead, the Scorpions, and I could definitely learn from the best. And it was awesome. And all the festivals. Sometimes we were going to a festival, and then we thought, this will be great, and then there weren't many people there. But in the end, I felt, what, it was so worthwhile, because there were at least a couple of hundred people there who cared, who came from all over the world. So in the end, I think everything is worth it. When you play in front of 2 people, it's worth it to give your life, and and it's for something. So I think all in all, it was all good, and even when certain things were harder, it just makes you stronger, or to try harder the next time. And I think it was all good.
Sure, definitely. Now, Doro, I'm going to look forward a little bit, and maybe I shouldn't, but do you ever see a time where you're not writing and or record or touring?
Actually, I hope this time will never come. I love it so much. I love the fans. That's my life, and I don't have a family. I'm not married, and for that reason, because I wanted to dedicate my life to the fans and to the music. And I hope I can always do it for another 30 years. Right. The fans want to see it and hear it. And I'm interested in martial arts, so besides touring, I'm always doing my kung fu. It's called Wing Chun. I'm doing that to actually, keep strong, and that's something I like. But other than that, music is it, and the fans. That tops everything for me. So I hope for the next 30 years we're doing it. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Well, Doro, you just you're reissuing Raise Your Fist with bonus material to celebrate your 30 years of being the metal queen, I guess. Talk a little bit about the reissue and why you chose to reissue Raise Your Fist versus putting out like a box set or something like that.
Yeah. I thought the Raise Your Fist record is such a great record, and I think it deserves another shot, and I was so proud of it, and I thought that's the record actually for my 30-year anniversary. I felt it had great songs on it, like Raise Your Fist, or the duet with Lemmy Kilmister, It Still Hurts. I love it so much. So I thought, let's re-release that, and the bonus CD, it has 9 songs on it. And it's actually songs we all loved and who inspired us, from Ronnie James Dio and Kiss and Metallica and Led Zeppelin and Tina Turner and all stuff which inspired me my whole life. And then there are 2 new songs on it. One is for a movie. It's called Anuk, The Path of the Warrior 2, and the title song is called Warfare. And then there's 1 demo on it. It's the New York City Blues, and that's actually the first demo we've ever put on a record. It's the purest form of a song, and I think it's very soulful. So I thought for the bonus CD, maybe it's interesting, for the diehard fans. And there are 2 killer CDs. I think the fans will like it. And just to celebrate the 30th anniversary, I'm so glad that the record company is putting it out and supporting the tour. And it will come out, I think, 14th of October. We are on tour already there, but I'm so glad that we have something to talk about, and maybe the fans will pick some more songs of the bonus CD, and and then the big show in New York City, 20th of October. Then we will play a lot of surprises and great guests like Jeff Waters of Annihilator, Bobby Blitz is coming up of Overkill, Chris Caffrey of Sabotage, Transylvanian Orchestra, Jean Beauvoir, and I think Leather Leon of Chastain, and many, many more great people. So all the fans should come up and celebrate with us, and of course all the other shows we will play what the fans want to hear, and I'm very excited. So much looking forward to tour again.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Doro, as we said, the new record, or the current record, I guess, is called Raise Your Fist. You can get it now, or you can wait a couple weeks to get a lot more of Raise Your Fist. Doro, where can people go to find out more about what you're doing and touring dates and whatnot online?
Yeah, I would say go to our website, it's doropesch.com, or our Facebook, Doro Official, and there's actually the poll where everybody can request songs they want to hear, actually of each city, so that the fans get exactly what they want to hear. And I'm very curious what they will request. Maybe there's some songs we've never played or we didn't play in a long time. So just check out doropesch.com. There's everything you need. And Johnny D, my great drummer, he's doing actually our Facebook, and it's the Doro Official. And of course Nuclear Blast, the record company. You always find the news and just we through the internet. We're always there, and trying to get people, or to get it, to get exciting stuff out there, and something unique, and but Johnny D, he's doing so great. He's a great drummer, great guy, and he will be our tour manager as well in the States. So just ask for
excellent.
And
Excellent.
And the other guys in the band are still the same too. So just in case people are wondering of the lineup, it's still the same. Nick Douglas on bass, he's with us 24 years. Johnny D on drums, 21 years. And we have an Italian guitar player, Luca Pozzotta, and a Dutch guitar player, Bas Mars, and another great find, Harrison Young. He's playing keyboards, and he's from New York as well. And
awesome.
So we're all excited to see the fans.
Definitely. Well, Doro, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. You could pick anything from your career that you'd like us to end the interview with, and maybe tell us a quick story about it. So what would you like us to end with?
Oh, man. Usually I always request All We Are, but because I know people know it and you probably played it many times, I want to request Raise Your Fist, because that's like the best anthem in the concerts when people show me their fist, and it's such a good, positive song. So Raise Your Fist is my choice.
All right, well, let's play it right now. Get your fists made and get them in the air. It is Raise Your Fist right here on your Classic Metal Show.